So you've closed on your house, and that's pretty awesome. You're really happy about it because, well, you're out of money, but it doesn't cost anything to own a house, right? Hey everybody, welcome back to Mrs. RATTLECAN'S house. I'm James. It is a rainy, gray, cold day in Ohio, and that of course means one thing. We're going to talk about money. So specifically what we're going to talk about today is what Mrs. RATTLECAN and I refer to as carrying cost, or the status quo cost. You have undoubtedly spent a pile of hard-earned money on your house, and the money flowing from you does not stop when you sign the papers, even if you pay cash for the house. So there are some things that you're going to have to think about, and you're going to have to budget. You will notice throughout our conversations that we're going to have that we will mention the word budget quite frequently, and that's because we don't operate on credit. Our house purchase, our projects, everything that goes forward is all based on real American pesos. So when we go to the store, even if we do use our debit card, it's like real money, and it hurts to spend it, and that's good. So we're going to talk about a couple of different things. One, a big cost that you're going to have is you may have a house payment. If you have financed your house, you are going to have the privilege of giving the bank money every month for borrowing their money to buy your house. And so you are going to pay a little bit on the actual house, and you are going to pay money to the bank. And that happens every month until it's done. Another thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to pay taxes. And depending on where you live in America, or wherever you are likely going to have to pay the county that you live in money. Usually it's twice a year, but we budget it as a monthly item. It may cost you $400 or $500 a month just to pay the taxes. So figure that into your budget, because not much in life is certain but death and taxes. There are some other costs that you are going to have to consider, and one of those is insurance. If you are going to be living in your lovely new home, you can call your insurance broker. I suggest you call an insurance broker, not necessarily an insurance agent, and have them find a policy that you are comfortable with. If you are renovating a home and not living in it, you can get something that's called a builder's risk policy, which covers the cost of the structure and the materials contained therein, should they be lost or stolen, fire, natural disaster, zombie apocalypse, any of those things. Maybe not. And that is a cost that you are going to incur every month. And something else that you're going to have to deal with is utilities and their possible deposits. When you're moving into a new house, you may be moving to an area of the country that you've never been in before, and that company may not know you. And based on that company's experience, they may charge you in order to allow you to use their product. It's called a deposit. They're normally refundable. They are often based on your credit score. So if you have a good credit score, you may be able to wiggle out of having to pay that deposit. And those utilities can include natural gas and home heating oil, water service and sewer service. It may be a phone landline, it could be your cable, it could be your internet, alarm systems, electricity, garbage collection, and it may even include yard maintenance. Again, if you are renovating a home, that is a status quo cost. You are not improving anything. You are maintaining things as they are. So those will all have to be added into your budget. There are also going to be things that we consider dislocation items. If you're in the military and you move every 2 or 3 years, then you get a dislocation allowance. And these are things that you are going to have to account for, because when you move into your new house, you may not like the curtains or the shades, window treatments in general. You may need a new floor mat, a new welcome mat. You may have to put light bulbs in the place. There may be perishable food items that you are going to have to replace. You may have non-transportable supplies, such as cleaning products, that you're going to have to replace. If you are moving from a big place to a little place or vice versa, you may now be getting a bed which you don't have any linens for. And all of this is status quo. You are not doing anything to the house. You are just paying for the house to be yours to do whatever you want to do in it. And we haven't even gotten into projects yet. We have a project called the Clean Machine, and that is when we take possession of the house, we're cleaning it from top to bottom so that it is Mrs. RATTLECAN clean. That project has a budget, and it is, for the most part, supplies. Now, one of the projects that we're going to do is replace electrical outlets in the house. We're going to protect circuits in the house with GFCI protection. In order to do that, we have what I would call an expendable supply, which are these wire nuts. I already have a pair of lineman's pliers, but there are some tools that I felt I wanted, and for safety's sake probably needed to have, and also a convenience sake wanted to have. One of them is a voltage detector, so I can map out the system. When I have breaker number 7 on, I can use this to help me find out how many circuits are on breaker number 7. And that way we can have an electrical map of the entire house, which will help us later on down the road. For safety's sake, I also wanted to have a set of electrician's screwdrivers because they are insulated, and let's be honest, I'm going to need all the help that I can get. And for convenience, I have gotten this digital circuit breaker finder. And what this is going to allow me to do is to plug this into an outlet and then go to the circuit box and find out exactly which breaker this is plugged into. Most of what I'm going to be doing is going to be with one person around, so if this will help me to get things done in a more efficient manner, then so be it. So these are all things that you need to sit down and you need to budget for, because if you're going to do a project like replacing sockets in my home, then you're going to need some or all of these tools. So make sure when you're looking at getting a house, you take these costs into account, because you don't want to become what's called house poor. We all know them. We all have people that we know that have bought a beautiful house that is probably way above what they should be spending of their income on their house payment. And it's a beautiful house and it's absolutely gorgeous, but they can't afford to do anything because all of their money every month is going towards, well, the house payment, the taxes, the utilities, the carrying costs that we have talked about. So don't be that person. House poor. Because it could be pretty frustrating to be in what might be your dream home if only it had wood floors, and you can't afford to put wood floors in because you don't have any money left.
House core.
So look at your budget, and if you have, if you've got some advice for us and the other channel subscribers, go ahead and put them down in the comments below the sermon notes there. I'd like to hear your ideas, your ways of dealing with these costs, because I know that there's a lot of you out there that are a lot smarter than I am. And you're the people that I depend on for the great ideas that we actually flesh out here on the channel. So you guys have a great weekend. Cheers.
If you enjoyed watching this episode of Mrs. RATTLECAN'S house, consider checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, and to get the latest updates on our progress, like us on Facebook. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Perhaps we should have some wine.